This is the new Insta360 GO 2 and it's the upgraded version of the Insta360 GO, which was the first thumb-sized action camera. It has increased bitrate, a higher resolution, a lens protector, a remote control and lots more. And a quick shout out to Insta360 for sending me this pre-production model. Let's get straight to it and take a look. In the box we have the camera, the charge cable and charging cradle, a quick start guide and lots of mounts. At first glance it looks very similar to the original GO, but the dimensions and weights are slightly different, with the original GO weighing 18.1 grams and the GO 2 weighing 26.2 grams. The original GO was 49mm high, 21mm wide and 14mm deep, and the GO 2 is 52mm high, 23mm wide and 17mm deep. So the GO 2 is slightly bigger, but it's massively better in so many ways and you can still pretty much fit it anywhere. The charging case is also overall slightly bigger, mainly in length at 68mm compared to the 59mm of the GO 1 case. But it has a good reason to be bigger because the case also has on it an LCD display, so you can now access and change the shooting mode without having to use the app. And Insta360 haven't overcomplicated this, it's just an easy to read and easy to navigate menu using just the two buttons, the record and the mode button. And this allows you to access the basic camera settings and switch between photo, video, pro video, time shift, time lapse, HDR video and slow motion. And it doesn't stop there because you can also take the camera out of the cradle and use the cradle as a remote control for the camera via the automatically configured Bluetooth. And with the remote you can change the shooting mode and start and stop recording. And this is particularly good for shots where the camera may be out of reach. The battery on the camera lasts approximately 30 minutes and can be charged in the case 3 to 4 times. For those that are used to the GO 1 and used to independently start and stop recording from the camera itself, you can still do that, but the design now is even better. With the original GO you had to push on the entire body of the camera to activate the record button, which was a design fraught with so many problems and resulted in many accidental recordings, and most of the time you just didn't know whether you were recording or not. The new design has slightly detached the button from the body of the camera, which means the button pushes more independently from the body of the camera, so it's much easier to know that you've actually pressed it. When you're putting the camera on a mount, however, because it's more sensitive, you can't help but press the button, so you do still end up with a montage of accidental button presses and funny looks into the camera. What would be good is if you could momentarily disable the button pushes on the camera via the remote control, so you can take it in and out of mounts without pressing the button and having accidental recordings. The GO 2 also has a quick capture mode when the camera is off by pressing the record button once or twice, and it will turn on and start recording in whatever mode you've set it to record in, and for the duration you have set. And you can set a record duration from 15 seconds up to 30 minutes. The 15-second option really is one of my favourites because it gives you an overall highlight of your day or the event that you're filming without overshooting. Those that were disappointed with the record times in the GO 1 will be really pleased with these longer record times of the GO 2. And the fact that the memory capacity of the GO 2 has also been improved with a maximum memory of 28GB compared to 8GB which we had on the GO 1. Also, when the camera is in the cradle you can use the built-in tripod and set your camera up for photos, videos and time-lapse shots. And in time-lapse mode the camera battery will last for 3 hours in the cradle. And the charging cradle also has a built-in 1/4" thread, so you can put it on a number of different mounts or even on a selfie stick. As well as the charge cradle mount, the GO 2 also comes with 3 other mounts included in the box, and all of these have been slightly upgraded as well. The first is the magnetic pendant, and this is slightly larger than the original and one of my favourite mounts because it is so simple. You also have the cap mount, which can be mounted to your cap or to a pocket or a backpack, and the mount swivels so you can change the angle of the camera. And then next is the pivot stand, which has a reusable sticky backing so you can attach it to any flat smooth surface. This mount is also recommended if you're using your camera underwater, as you can hold onto it here with your thumb. And this mount comes with a hand strap so you don't drop it. And the camera can be rotated to any angle you want, so it's great for car shots. Another one of my favourite mounts for the Go 2 is this finger mount, because it allows you to attach the camera to pretty much any GoPro style mount. Disappointingly, this is not included with the camera, but you can buy an additional mount package which includes 3 other mounts for the Go 2. For vlogging, you can also just hold the charge cradle, and the slot for the lens is a convenient place to put your thumb, which makes vlogging simple as no extra accessories are needed. And I have to say, even though there's only one mic at the top of the camera, the sound for such a small camera was pretty good. And if you go into the settings menu via the remote control, you can also switch on and off a wind reduction filter. This is a quick audio test with the Insta360 GO 2. It's fairly windy today with gusts of about 30 miles per hour, but the wind's blowing around about 10 to 15 miles per hour at the moment. And I'm just holding the camera handheld in the case, and the wind reduction is off at the moment. The wind reduction filter is now on. I'm walking into the wind, and the wind's blowing about 15-20 miles per hour. So it'd be interesting to hear what difference the wind reduction filter makes. The Insta360 flow state stabilization is really impressive with this camera, and it allows it to compete as an action camera. And it also has a super wide angle view called action view, which is perfect for your action shots. As well as this, it has horizon lock built in, so you don't have to worry about keeping the camera upright. I can literally rotate the camera all the way around and it stays level. For water sport action, the original Go was only submersible for around 10 seconds, so it wasn't truly waterproof. The Go 2, however, is waterproof, and it's been upgraded, and it's waterproof up to 4 meters deep. And with action, you can really push the limits as well, because it comes with a replaceable lens guard which screws onto the lens, so you don't have to worry about smashing your lens up. There are 2 minor disadvantages with the lens protector. Firstly, if you don't want to use a lens protector, which I don't recommend, then it's actually very hard to get the Go 2 out of the case, because you pull on the lens protector to pull the camera out of the case. Secondly, with the first Go camera, in order to stop the camera charging in the case constantly, you could turn it around, which would prevent the contacts being made with the camera. But with this design you can't do that, so the camera appears to be charging every time you put it back in the case. According to Insta360, however, this charge case is a lot more intelligent, and the Go 2 will hold its charge longer in the case and won't deplete the battery unnecessarily, so there should be no need to turn it around anyway. And of course, an action camera wouldn't be an action camera without the ability to use slow motion, and with the Go 2 you can shoot slow motion up to 120 frames per second, and this is compared to the 100 frames per second with the Go 1. And this can be exported at 1920 by 1080, but at a higher bitrate compared to the Go 1, and footage shot in 1440 can be exported at 1440. So unlike the Go 1, there are no compromises on export. The other great thing about the Go 2 is that it is now properly integrated into the Insta360 ecosystem, and you can now select your camera on the Insta360 app and access even more shooting modes and settings. Using the app in photo mode, you can select interval mode, night lapse mode and star lapse, and you can also set a timer for photos, change the field of view, the aspect ratio and frame rate, and you can switch between standard, vivid and log color profiles. And in the app you can also switch to manual white balance and manual shutter mode. And whatever changes you make in the app here with regards to resolution and frame rates etc, then these will be transferred to the main menu on the remote control. So the app acts as like a master menu for the remote control. Jumping across into editing, you have 2 options. You can either edit manually by creating a story from scratch and adding music, transitions, changing the speed, adding filters etc, or you can use the AI auto editing feature. And you can do this straight from the camera without having to download to the phone first. Using this feature you select from a number of main categories including travel, sport etc, and within each category there are various themes with a preset number of clips that are required to edit the video together. So if we select travel and then road trip for example, we then select use this theme, and this needs 6 clips, so we then select 6 travel type shots or whatever shots you want, and we can select these from shots that have been stored on the Insta360 app or from the camera or from your phone itself. Press preview and then the AI will render all of those clips and create your edit. Insta360 have ticked all the boxes for what needed to be improved from the original Go without taking away from the main selling point of the camera, and that is it's the smallest action camera that can be attached to anything and taken anywhere. I've left a link to the camera in the description below. Please let me know what you think of the Go 2 in the comments, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I've got a lot of Go 2 videos coming up. My name's Rich, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.